fight some of the largest, most hazardous fires in the world. Infernos that defy the skills and means of most firefighters. These are blazes that rage with their own rules, their own dangers, their own deadly surprises.
It was almost like, I'd say, close to being in hell. It was the hottest I've ever been.
You see a person burn up. It's not a pretty sight.
You know, I could lose my brother and my son at one time.
The bottom line is we could die doing this.
The few who dare cheat death for a living.
They looked at us like cowboys, like renegades, like show-offs.
Where other people might feel that you're crazy, you're nuts, you know, you have a death wish, it's not like that. You have a job to do, and you just love doing your job.
The reality of this risky business demands both brains and bravado.
You have to put fire out. That's why people hire us to put fire out. If it was easy, they would have other people do it.
Nearly 100 firefighters die each year. Some to a notorious kind of fire few have the skill and training to fight. These are industrial fires. Massive infernos, fueled by oil, gasoline, and other flammable liquids. They are not extinguished easily, burning hotter and longer than almost all other fires. They are also explosive, prone to flash from dangerous to catastrophic in seconds. In a world where fuel is part of everyday life, industrial disaster is an ever-present threat. And the specialty of an elite breed of firefighter. Several weeks a year, a few of their number play instructor at TEEX, Texas Engineering Extension Service. Here, firefighters from around the world come to learn the secrets of fighting some of the most dangerous fires on Earth. Expert in this field is a 56-year-old Texan, Dwight Williams, head of world-renowned Williams Fire and Hazard Control.
In our business, fire is mesmerizing, even to us that handle it. It's beautiful. It's like a dragon. Your job is to get the poison in the dragon's mouth. Get it in its belly and kill it.
Instructing rookies how to do just that is key to this exercise.
What we have here is the Marine Project, and this afternoon we're just going to run these guys through their final practical examination, which basically puts them in the same scenarios that they've practiced all week, only we put it together and give them a full-blown incident. The scenario will be that this ship is tied to berth. A fire ensues. We have a good pressure fire on the manifold. The tank hold that is exposed here simulates the deck cover blown off and the cargo space is open, and it goes to fire as well.
Ship fires pose extra trouble. Fuel is everywhere and seemingly inexhaustible.
Push that fire back now.
Mere water won't do. Fighting these fires takes special chemicals, know-how, and discipline.
You gotta get that hole too. Okay. Hold what you got, No.
These exercises are designed not just to teach, but to forge the firefighter to take on some of the most brutal of fights. Dwight Williams knows the drill.
The way you make a precious stone, a diamond, is with heat and with pressure. So you put them in a heat, you put the pressure on them, and you get a precious stone. And if you don't do that, you just get a rock.
When they come to a school like Texas A&M Annual School, they'll learn in a controlled atmosphere whether or not they can really do this work comfortably without hurting themselves or someone else. And I think that's probably the most valuable thing that they can teach them, because they just can't build a fire big enough and bad enough to make it totally realistic.
These men aspire to succeed in a field where firefighting has long suffered dismal failure, according to David White, publisher of Industrial Fire World magazine.
Believe it or not, I'd say 20 years ago, if we had a tank fire, just a tank fire, and I was just an 80-foot diameter tank, which is a small one by today's standards, the chance of putting that tank out was almost zero. If it was bigger than 80 foot, 120, 150 foot, it was almost guaranteed it was going to burn the ground.
Industrial fires often burned until the fuel ran out. The cost to business, the environment, and human health was staggering. But by the turn of the 21st century, that old story had changed. August 1999. In Wortham, Texas, an oil pipeline explodes into flames and burns out of control for several days, overwhelming local firefighters. Specialists are called in. They put out the fires in 3 hours. May 2000, Eunice, Louisiana. A chemical freight train derails, setting tank cars of hazardous chemicals ablaze. Others are set to explode. The town is evacuated. But experts arrive, and in a few hours the fires are extinguished, a major crisis averted. September 1999, Wesley, California. When lightning ignites a dump of over 5 million tires, experts estimate it will take months to extinguish. The pros are called in, and the fire is out in a little over 3 weeks. All 3 incidents and dozens more are the handiwork of Dwight Williams and his family of firefighters.
And we expect more out of family than we do anybody else. Being a family member might help you get a job, but it will not help you keep it.
Chauncey Naylor is both firefighter and family. A son-in-law to Dwight, he joined the team in 1996.
People say be careful what you wish for, but this one's right on target for me. When I had that opportunity, I jumped on it. The risk is what entices you to do it.
It's a different discipline. So you do the job. Now, you don't do it stupid, you evaluate the risk. But there's always a risk.
Very nicely done, gentlemen.
What once seemed impossible, Dwight and his family have made possible, developing both the technique and technology to tame these blazes. But the battle is renewed with every fire. Each call could be their last, as their methods face larger and more dangerous hazards in a deadly game that can sometimes demand the ultimate price.
There's been people that have lost relatives or lost friends in fires. Most of the companies that do what we do have. We've been very blessed we haven't done that. That's done by being very observant, very deliberate, at times being aggressive.
With rare footage taken by the firefighters themselves, viewers will bear witness as the hazards mount.
You're there.
And the Williams put life and limb on the
Ain't
line.
getting hot. I'm out of here.
On June 26, 1999, Dwight's team is called to Amelia, Louisiana. Like a fast-leaking tire, a crippled natural gas well under more than 10,000 pounds of pressure spews explosive vapors into the air. The Williams job, to disperse the hazardous fumes while a crew moves in to patch the well. Before they can start, a lightning storm forces the crews to evacuate. one spark changes the Williams mission.
The well ignited. The whole sky turned basically orange. Now it's not just vapor mitigation, it's a firefight. We got out there, the derrick, it lasted about 18 minutes before the heat just melted it over. It looked like a pile of about half-cooked spaghetti.
The tall spire was now a melted mountain of steel. The drill stem that had been twisted down into the earth was now dislodged. Like a giant blowtorch, it was shooting fire into the air.
Pressure fires can be controlled a couple of different ways. You can obviously go turn the valve off. Well, if on a big tower, there is no valve. You got a pipe, maybe it's a 6-inch pipe or a 3-inch pipe or 2-inch pipe, that's fed from the tower, and there's no valve between the tower and it.
Dwight's men need to find another way. The fire must be knocked out at its source, the well hole, but the wreckage gives no clear shot. Using enough water to fill a swimming pool every 60 seconds, the team blasts back the flames to protect workers cutting away the tangled heap. It's a battle that rages around the clock, day after day, exhausting the men in shifts.
Or the noise is so tremendous. The incredible thing about the roar was that you could hear so many other things within it. You could hear things changing as it picks up different things out of the reservoir, whether it picks up mud or if it picks up water, it changes the sound. The noise is so loud and deep that it just thumps your chest. You know, it's like standing between two race cars on a drag strip when they take off. It's just a tremendous, tremendous sound. We communicated primarily with hand signals and writing notes to each other.
Then, on day 7, a break. The well hole collapses, a natural valve that cuts off the gas supply. Though the fire is out, the Williams know they can't count on luck next time. They head home to search for answers to issues they have encountered, part of the constant honing that's key to their success. "20 miles east of Beaumont, Texas, lies the home and world headquarters of Williams Fire and Hazard Control. For 20 years, Dwight's sister Randy has managed this front of the fire wars.
If you expect firefighters to fight fire, then you need someone that knows enough about the firefighting that can handle the government officials and handle the management team and keep them apprised of the situation. And I play that role, and I enjoy that role. We all thrive on stress, obviously, so that's part of my stress.
Her work leaves Dwight to his passion, figuring out how to better fight industrial fires.
That's the purpose of doing it, using it like a fog mop. We've never done this before. I can't wait to find out how it's going to work. Powder hits, it can hit that plate.
Fire's ingredients are simple: just oxygen, a fuel, and heat. Eliminate one of the three, and the fire is out.
Fire could be explained as either combustible or flammable. And if it's flammable, that means that in a common, everyday environment, the product yields enough vapor to support combustion. Now, many of us burn wood in our fireplaces. You have to heat the wood up before it yields the vapor to burn.
The dynamics of pressure fires require more than water to put them out. Firefighters mix through the nozzle a dry chemical agent that helps interrupt the chain reaction that keeps the flame burning. But the chemical can only work if it gets to the fire. The problem, the powdery agent was white and hard to distinguish from the water. To fight pressure fires better, Dwight needed to know where the chemicals were concentrated in the flow.
What we were looking for was being in big fires. We knew that in the heat of battle, it's difficult to find the dry chemical.